Hello, I'm Raph. I'm playing a Warforged Gloomforged named Styx. He is a Paladin and has been recently reawakened and is learning about the world around him with some new friends that he's just met.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dampier. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic Druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
Hi, my name is Josh. I am from the RollTogether RPG stream, and I will be playing Killian Maxwell, a half-elf warlock who has come to Barovia. He was with the party previously but has lost them and has joined up with the Tempest Guild on their adventures.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. A warning, gentle viewer. Curse of Strahd is a horror-themed Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which means you may hear adult language or adult themes throughout this episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to see you all again. We are back playing Curse of Strahd, the premiere 5th edition horror campaign. Now, 2 quick announcements. Unfortunately, we are 2 players down for tonight. Josh let us know far in advance that he wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. He had some family commitments that he wasn't able to avoid. Obviously, life comes first, so I will be playing the character of Killian tonight. Unfortunately, we had a last-minute dropout from Raph. Something's come up. Again, family-related. This one a bit more of an emergency, so we're crossing our fingers that all is okay. I haven't heard yet what the status is, so hopefully Raph is all good and his family are all okay as well. But at this point, judging by his messages, I'd say it's unlikely we will see him tonight. So I'm also going to have to break out the voice of Styx again tonight, which is my favorite voice to do. The last time I had to do it for a whole session, I had a session the next morning, a 2-hour session where I was talking nonstop. I lost my voice within the first 5 minutes as a result of the Styx voice. It is uncomfortable, it is painful, and it has long-lasting consequences for me. So I guess my medical emergency would be tomorrow. I'll just call in sick, I reckon. It's just not even. I'll just say I was. Styx's voice took too much out of me. So that's exactly.
To find a sword again.
What was that? Sorry.
Styx to find a sword again.
Yeah, Styx just drops his sword. Oh no! I lost it again. And just wanders out. I will be doing my absolute best to try and not do the Styx voice. I have been practicing, chat. I have genuinely been practicing the Styx voice. I've also been practicing Killian's voice as well, listening back to Josh speak, so that I can try and get it a bit more intact, get it a bit more realistic. In terms of other fun announcements to share, the only other fun announcement I have to share is that the Cosmere RPG finished its Kickstarter funding and smashed it out of the fucking park. The most funded game of all time on the platform, and I think the 3rd most funded Kickstarter project of all time, from memory.
Homeboy knows how to kickstart.
Brandon knows how to kickstart. I think, obviously we are very, very excited for the Cosmere RPG. I've been reading through a lot of the stuff that's been released as part of the quick start guides. Man, it's so cool. And I think I've spoken about this before, but like the way you attract a Spren as like a hopeful of the Night's Radiant. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Basically, the system is like a D20 system, but it takes some of the narrative dice elements that you get from things like Blades in the Dark, takes some of the conditions and aspects from games like Avatar Legends, and combines it into this very narrative-driven D20 system. And I think it looks really good. So far, everything I've been looking through, I'm really excited. There's a few mechanics that I think I'll have to play through to sort of understand how they work in game, but for the most part, it reads really easy. I'd say in terms of like the difficulty scaling from Avatar Legends to, what do you reckon the hardest RPG to learn is? TTRPG?
Probably
I was going to say Pathfinder, but Pathfinder's not that hard. It's just...
There's a rule for everything, so
Yeah.
as long as you're quick on the Archives of Nethys lookup, you can find it pretty easily, and that kind of helps in the long run as a DM. With actually
it's not hard. It's just there's a lot you have to look through. Edge of the Empire's not too hard. I don't know. I wonder what the hardest...
The Masquerade I found very difficult, solely because I wanted a more like combat quest driven system, and it just really wasn't for that. If you have the right players for it that are happy to just do social stuff, wouldn't be hard at all, but it's a very hard system to adapt into something that's not that.
Yeah, fair.
Really wanting to be vampires in X city around the world.
Yeah, exactly right. I agree with that too. I think I found the same thing. I was sort of coming in expecting it to be a bit more combat focused, and it's not really. It's much more like Avatar Legends, where the combat's there, and there's a robust combat system. It's just it's not designed for there to be combat every single session necessarily, without the campaign being over very quickly. Like with Avatar Legends, you level up at the end basically of every single session in the rules as written, which we don't do. We've got it. We do a variant version of that, but like basically, ostensibly. Given choices, you can go through a level up and finish off your playbook, and there's a certain number of level ups you can take before you tick off that playbook and you're done, and that's the character finished. So I'd say it's probably I think sort of somewhat similar to that. But so the Cosmere seems to be, I'd almost say like a much more narrative D20 system, but with a really solid combat system tucked away underneath the narrative dice. The narrative dice get to roll, like you roll them a lot though, and they're added to the D20 roll. So when you roll a narrative dice, it's added to the D20. So that looks really interesting as well. So you can potentially get some pretty incredible rolls depending on when you put those dice in play. So I'll be interested to have some fun with it when it comes out. And I've said many times, we will of course be doing a system with it because Brandon Sanderson's my favorite author of all time. The Cosmere is my favorite series of all time, and Stormlight Archive would probably be, at this stage, probably my favorite book series of all time, the Stormlight Archive. Sorry, Tolkien. I love the Lord of the Rings, but it's a lot easier to read the Stormlight Archive. sorry, Tolkien. Awesome. Well, unless we've got any other fun announcements, no, it doesn't look like we do. So let's carry on through. So let me read through the.
This one's
sorry,
for you.
there we go. I'll just mute him. Let us read through the. All right, go on.
This month, September, don't forget, you can sub to the Twitch channel, save up to 30% on new subs until October 1. Get in there. Let's get up. We've got the current follower goal, getting up to 590. Let's get the subs up a little bit as well. Announcement number 2.
He started so
Owen,
strong. Yeah.
You're welcome. You've got the highest viewed clip on the Twitch channel. The update from Maisie Peters last week, we're at 89 views. Let's try and get that up to 100, which is, we're currently at more than double of the second most viewed clip. Let's get that up there. We've also got the clip here from me doing Golem. I assume that's good. Go and get that up there. Let's try and make me 1 and 2 clips on the channel. Owen, if you could feature these, that'd be great, instead of trying to lock them behind all the barriers. That'd be great. Get over to Twitch.
What you're hearing is a very vulnerable narcissist pushing 2 clips of just them as hard as he possibly can. I'm assuming for some level of social kudos. Look,
remember the bullying thing we were talking about earlier?
No, because it didn't make it onto the recording, so it didn't happen.
Oops.
If anyone wants to help Jacob with this banal and rather sad goal, feel free. Like, I'm not going to stop you.
Please, I need it. I need this.
He is now begging. Take that into consideration when you make a decision.
It has been shared in the Maisie Peters fan club Discord, so
it hasn't. It hasn't.
Okay.
Did you actually share
100%.
it? Oh my god!
Well,
I'm trying to help you grow your channel.
I don't think the intersection is there between those. I think the people.
Well, apparently there is. I'm sitting.
The Venn diagram's a circle, mate.
Yeah, 2 separate circles with Jacob desperately stretched between the 2 like he's on some medieval torture device being torn in half. It's not a Venn diagram. It's genuinely crushing Jacob between the 2. Oh, yikes. Yeah, cool. Whatever. I don't care. Do what you want.
On the Maisie Peters fan Discord. Positive?
There were no negative responses.
Were there any responses? Were there any responses?
No negative responses.
Were there any? No. I want to know the sample size. Were there any responses?
There were no negative responses.
This is
like a politician.
It's a point where I feel like I can't joke about it because it's genuinely quite sad. Jacob's like trying to push this and it's not going. It's not happening. Do you know what? I am going to let you cook a bit more. Jacob, in your head, I imagine you kind of saw there being some level of engagement from the Maisie Peters community or even Maisie herself by this stage. Is that right?
So I think
yes, that's a yes.
Really is evidence that there has been interaction because the clip that you've hidden in the non-featured area has more than double the amount.
Haven't hidden anything. I just haven't updated the clip to move it into the top.
When you go to clips, it only has featured. You have to filter by and remove that. So I'm assuming you're only trying to keep me down in line.
No, I have to manually add it. I haven't done that yet. Would you like me to manually add it right now for you? Would that make you happy?
I mean, it's not going to make me unhappy.
No. I need to hear that if I do this, you're going to back the fuck off. Yeah.
Oh, that's not happening. You don't.
Okay,
need to
then
worry
it's
about
then
that.
it's staying exactly where it is, and you're just going to have to deal with that. Let's do our recap and jump back into the session. Can I also say, for those of you who are in Brisbane right now, this is not winter. What is going on?
What the fuck? Tomorrow's going to be 10 degrees colder, thank God, but what the fuck has the past couple of days been?
I don't want to complain because I was at the beach yesterday at 4:00 in the afternoon. It's August. It's our winter. Well, it's September now, but it's still technically like the end of our winter. I was at the beach yesterday at 4:00. It was 28 degrees on the beach. The water was 24 degrees. It's one of the best swims I've had like all year. It was stunning. I don't know what is going on. Climate change is the only logical answer, I guess, that we can draw from that. Some sort of like rampant change to our climate. But it is.
For those in freedom units, like it got to like 100 degrees Fahrenheit in winter. And
I know people say Australia is hot. It's actually not. That's unusual for us. Normally, like most of summer, we're lucky if we get above 32 in Brisbane. Especially near the coast, because the coast are like 34. Yeah, I'd say like the hottest days get up to about 34. But like for most of December, or I'd say September, October, November, it stays sort of 30-ish, below 30, easily below 30. And then like December, January, February, maybe gets up to 34 on the really hot days. But for the most part, we're sort of sitting around 28 to 30. Our winter has been 28 degrees.
Look, it got to 38 out at my house.
38?
Did you have the heater on?
I did not.
Oh, that would have explained it.
38 degrees.
That's so bad. Okay, I can't complain now because I was 28 and I'm like, I'm sweaty now. I'm sweaty. But 38's a lot hotter. Yeah, that's rough. Good news is, it turns out Bunnings sell and install air conditioners, and so I'm going to get Bunnings to do my air conditioner because they'll beat the next price by 10%. We all know it. So let's get Bunnings involved. Not sponsored by Bunnings.
With it, or?
Yeah, absolutely. It should come with at least 2 Bunnings sausages.
Are we now sponsored by Bunnings?
I'd love to be. I would. That's a sponsorship I'd accept in a heartbeat.
Jacob, can we get a Bunnings update at the end of every session now?
Absolutely. But for now, thank you to the 4 people who have gone and watched that clip of the Maisie Peters update. We're at 93 views.
I'm disappointed, is all I'm going to say. Let's do our recap and jump into the session. So, previously, our series has been following the adventures of the Tempest Adventuring Guild. Theo, Jonor, Tithla, Styx, and Killian. Having become trapped within the realm of Barovia while searching for some missing adventurers, the team are now preparing to take the fight to Strahd and Sergei. Having recruited allies, including the Wereraven Keepers of the Feather and the restored Abbot of St. Markovia, the team have travelled to Argynvostholt. With the ruined fortress housing a fragment of the Sun Sword, a divine weapon essential in the upcoming battle against the Dark Powers, the team need to brave the dangers waiting within to reclaim this lost relic. Arriving at the grounds, the group found the decaying stone towers covered in draconic iconography, including 2 impressive statues looming over the front gates. Jonor's magic, channeled through the cursed spell tome he had recovered in Vallaki, awakened the statues, leading to a brief combat marked by Jonor struggling to convince his team of the impending danger. Dismantling the statues, the team made their way inside the crumbling fortress, the first room they chose to explore containing some enormous spiders. After dispatching the tricky arachnids, the team entered another side antechamber, this one containing a fireplace, a large coffin-like structure, and a large owlbear skin rug sitting on the floor. Theo fancied this owlbear skin rug as a cloak and adorned his Beornling form with it, only to discover the rug was an enchanted fabric designed to smother anyone who got too close. Leaping into action, the team attempted to destroy the dangerous skinned beast, but found their attacks were striking Theo as well. Styx decided to employ a risky method to rescue his ursine friend, using his paladin powers to force the rug to target him instead. With Theo now free and the attention of the empty glass eyes now focused solely on Styx, the party soon tore the skin into pieces. Able to now fully explore the room, the group was surprised to find the fireplace still partially ablaze, the logs made of stone and glass but glowing with an inner fire. From within the fireplace, a small draconic form made of flame emerged, speaking in a crackling, raspy voice and asking the party to restore the light to Argynvostholt. Talking over this strange magic, over a few drinks rescued from the cupboard, the party suddenly found themselves no longer alone in the room. A secret door hidden within the stonework, pulling back to reveal a shadowed silhouette. And that is where we left off last session, and we are going to jump straight back in. All of you have benefited from a short rest. You went through and collected some of the alcohol that had been left behind in this drinks cabinet fashioned out of a black coffin. You'd enjoyed a few drinks, toasted absent friends and companions who you'd lost along the way before taking a bit of downtime to catch up and catch your breath. But as you were finishing up your short rest, the sound of stone grinding on stone emerged from the northeast portion of the room. And as you watched, a section of the stone wall first moved inwards and then began to slide towards the south, revealing an alcove beyond. A figure, a silhouette shadowed in the light cast from the burned down fireplace, making it very hard to distinguish any features of this figure. That is where we left off. Let's jump straight back in, and perfect timing. Welcome, lovely raiders from Rollstream. I hope you guys have had a wonderful session. Let us know what you guys are up to, and welcome to our Curse of Strahd campaign. Alrighty, Tithla, Theo, and Jonor. As you watch, a figure steps out from behind the shadows. You see slightly pale skin, pointed ears, and layered leather armor, covered in strips of cloth and fabric, creating this almost like kaleidoscope of colors across the breastplates and the shoulder pads. Long, dirty blonde hair tied back into a braid along the shoulder. You see an elven man. If he was human, he'd look like he was in his probably late 30s, early 40s, a few lines across his face. But the most obvious thing about him that you see is a wound gashing through the armor on his side, cutting into the leather around his lower abdomen on the right-hand side. Blood, both dried and wet, soaking through the makeshift bandage he has tied around himself, strips of his cloak still hanging from his back where he has torn it to create this makeshift bandage. And as he looks towards you, you see he is holding in front of him a small dagger, holding it out as he looks at you. Dagger shaking in his grip.
And we were told something along the lines of show the knights the light, right?
Yeah, when the dragon made a flame emerged from the fireplace, it told you that, yeah, you needed to bring the light to the knights.
Okay, so he came through about there?
Yeah, emerging through the little hidden alcove I've now revealed on the map, which I will bring us across to so that we may use the map to help see and visualize what we're doing.
There's a window over there near Jonor, right?
There is. There's a window looking out onto the grounds that Jonor's standing at. The glass is still intact. You can see that the window panes show this curled dragon around a central silver orb. Beautiful stained glass windows revealing the outside through, but no bright light shining through. In Barovia, that sort of scattered, overcast sunlight that occasionally breaks through the thick cloud cover is very rare indeed.
All right.
Oh, hey there, stranger. You don't take another step there. Don't come forwards anymore.
Yes, that's right. Don't walk. You'll fall down. That hurts. And Tithla runs over, pulls out a healer's kit to try and start dressing the wound. As
you rush up towards the figure, Tithla, as you get a bit closer, you can see that his skin, which you sort of saw was a bit pale, has this almost like a dark greyish hue to it. The light cast from the room behind, giving it sort of this lighter appearance. But as you get closer, you can see that, it's this sort of like dusky grey colour. And as you step forwards, not pulling out a weapon, not pulling out anything dangerous, but instead reaching for a healer's kit, you watch as he like holds the dagger up, initially cautious, and then slowly lowers it. Oh, thank the gods. I thought you were something else. Who are you lot? You're not dead. You're living in...
Take a seat. We'll sort you out. Work out.
As you lower him to the floor, Tithla, you can see into the room beyond. You can see barrels, large barrels, what looks like a storeroom hidden behind here. A pool of dried blood on the floor where this elf has walked from. You can see footprints in the blood. You can see it up against the wall where he's been seated. Tithla, could I get you to please make me a medicine check?
I would love to. Tithla does those well. That's a 16.
16's good. As you look over, Tithla, you can see this elf has lost quite a lot of blood. The coloured cloth that he's ripped off his cloak to make the bandages, he's actually done a fair job of. This is someone who's acclimatized to dressing battlefield wounds on the fly. But as you look at the wounds underneath the bandages, it's hard to say exactly what caused these. You can see these large gashes across his side, brutal cuts. But as the exact nature of them, they look too jagged to have been caused by a blade. These look almost like claws that have gashed through his side. As you slowly lower him to the ground, pull out your healer's kit and begin fussing over him, he sort of like nods and looks up at the rest of you. I'm Savid. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for not killing me. Who are you lot? You look like outlanders. You're, how long have you been here?
We're on the Tempest Adventuring Guild. You are right, we're outlanders. I guess shouldn't be surprised to hear the connections being drawn so quickly. We're here to find other members of our guild. What are you doing in here?
I was trying to seek refuge. I was attacked on the road. I was injured. Trying to flee and find a safe place where the wolves wouldn't get me. Crept inside here.
So, wolves did this to you?
Aye, 3 of them. Great big wolves. Large, long claws. Much larger than normal wolves I've seen before. And they moved quickly, efficiently. And my companion, I lost her. She was with me, Maisie. I haven't seen her.
Journal's going to.
Hey, I'm sure she's very resilient, and she'll come through. I'm sure there's a hidden power deep within her that people just don't understand yet.
Hopefully her body is better than yours.
My man, calling out Maisie Peter songs.
I don't know what became of her. I left her behind. I can't believe I did that.
Jonah's going to walk over to the window and look out to see if he can see the phase of the moon. We've been here long enough to know werewolves are a thing and they're behaving with full moon.
With the cloud cover currently blocking the sunlight and it being sort of like mid-ish morning, it's hard to sort of gauge what the moon is doing right this second. But you remember, Jonor, when you last checked, it was a waxing moon. It was not quite full yet.
Sure. Any idea of, was it, a couple days away before the full moon?
It's hard to say because in your time here in Barovia, it seems like the moon cycle happens much quicker than it does on Nostea. And the full moon hangs around for longer. Do you want to make me an Arcana check, Jonor, to see what you can figure out?
I was going to say, could I do a nature check, but could I support that from a nature perspective to discuss that?
You're welcome to hold on to it if you like, because Jonor's got a natural 20 for 28.
I mean, I was just gonna like A.
Yeah, go.
From a mechanics perspective, so
Sounds like that one to ruin it.
You
I'd love if you burn 2 nat 20s on this. You don't have to roll with advantage. It's all good. You've got the natural 20.
So I
Jonor.
thought Jacob was going to go in nature there. So
No, all good. Jonor, natural 20, 28. Here's the thing. You have quite a profound understanding of the magic of good and evil. That's your whole scholarly pursuit, right? Like understanding the source of magic from creatures that are aligned on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You know that there are powerful creatures, powerful magical creatures, demons as well as celestials who can influence the weather, influence the tides, influence the stars, and influence the moon. You know, Jonor, that this place, Barovia, is a demi-plane. It is this locked-off realm, a pocket dimension, eternally trapped in this endless cycle. The mists that surround it are both the borders of the edge of this reality and the prison itself, trapping things in here. And it's self-perpetuating. With a natural 20, you're starting to put together some of the thoughts that you've had the whole way through with this. You know that souls that are lost are trapped within the mists. I think you specifically, Jonor, I think you actually overheard some of them back when the mists first started to emerge back in near the Durst Manor when you first came to Barovia. So you're probably the best person to have rolled this nat 20 for this particular check. Strahd and Sergei seem locked in this stalemate. Both of them having received gifts from the dark powers, both of them empowered with this incredible magic to control and manipulate reality here. It would seem that the moon cycle is part of that conflict. One of them wanting the full moon, one of them wanting the new moon, the lack of moon. And with both of them fighting, the stages in between are almost stretched and pushed so that you have this. So let me phrase that slightly differently. Because the full moon is stretched for longer and the new moon is stretched for longer, the other phases, it's almost like a rubber band rebounding. They are much, much quicker. The moon cycles through those interim stages way, way quicker. You know, with a natural 20, it's not going to be a full moon tonight. It's not going to be a full moon tomorrow night. But the night after will be the first of the full moon. And you know it will hang around for a couple of days. In addition, with a natural 20, you're also pretty confident that the werewolves don't need the full moon to transform. The full moon forces the transformation, for sure. But if they're receiving power from Strahd and or Sergei, they won't need to wait. They'll be able to call upon their wolf forms when they need it.
Very interesting.
Because you've seen the were-ravens transform at will. They don't have to wait for the full moon.
Yep. Checks out.
Jacob, or Tithla, I should say. Or is this a Jacob question?
Jacob, 2 nights. That's when Strahd is coming to get us again, right?
Tomorrow night.
Or okay. I was just afraid that somehow it was lining up on the first night of a full moon that the vampire was sending for a dinner party, but that's okay. Coincidence.
It'd be worse for him, right?
You don't know. You don't know which one Strahd wants and which one Sergei wants. So, for example, you know that the Blight Druids were associated with Sergei, and you know their sacrifice had to be done at a new moon. Strahd, you're not sure. But you know that most of the things here are affiliated with either Strahd or Sergei. They've had to survive, and that's part of that balance, right?
Very interesting.
I will speak to him telepathically because I'm still running around in very drunk bear form. Are you saying 0 werewolves or just large wolves? And where did you leave your companion? We have a friend out in the woods too. Were these wolves nearby?
The wolves were. I mean, this was a night ago. It wasn't this morning. It was not last night. It was a night ago. I've been trying to treat this wound. I've not been strong enough to move anywhere else. It was on the road between here and Kresk, between Vallaki and Kresk, up near the lake. You know that old crumbling wizard's tower?
Yes, we've been there.
A bit south of that, along the main road there. I thought it was safe to travel the roads. We were trying to get to Kresk before dusk, but some things happened. We got slowed down, and we were ambushed. About them being werewolves, I don't know. I don't know much about the werewolves. I mean, potentially, if that's the case, then am I going to be in trouble? Like, they didn't bite me, but they certainly their claws got me, almost disemboweled me.
I think a scratch is usually fine from a werewolf. In what I know, like, because the were-ravens just turn into ravens, but traditionally werewolves are kind of not really turning into wolves unless it's Twilight, and then it's.
We don't talk about that.
Are they Twilight werewolfing, or are they like?
Do you want to make me nature check, Theo? I'd say nature or arcana. I don't. Yeah, it's a good question. You'd probably have. I'm going to give you a bonus to this because of your druidic circle. The circle of the moon is pretty specific to shapeshifting.
Tithla would also then, in trying to support that, talk about well, the only example that we have was the liver transplant was turning Grinner into a werewolf. So we know that's one way that they can turn.
Theo.
When you were saying bonus, did you mean advantage?
I did not. Theo, natural 1. That's a total of 2. Spam those nat 1 emotes. Theo. Yeah, man. Werewolves, they can turn into like anything in between wolf and human form, like animorphs. They can stop that change at any point. They can take on any level of transformation. And they don't even have to necessarily, like, the head doesn't necessarily have to become the head of the werewolf. They can make it one of the legs. They can transfer like one of their arms into the head of the wolf. It's eldritch horror shit. Like any part of their body they can transform into a wolf. If they wanted to have 2 wolf arms and they were still with their human torso, you're pretty confident they could do that too. It's pretty scary stuff. Werewolves are fucking terrifying, mate.
And a claw wound, would that be potentially
He's dead.
Transformative? Or?
He's so dead. Like, I mean, he hasn't transformed yet, but then who knows? I mean, probably better safe than sorry.
I'm sorry, my friend. I think perhaps you are going to be afflicted with lycanthropy. It might be safest for us to just put you down now. I promise we will do our best to find your friend.
Whoa.
No, please. I haven't transformed. I don't feel anything. It's just, I mean, obviously I'm in a great deal of pain, but I haven't transformed or anything. There's no hair. Look, there's no hair on me. I haven't got any claws. You don't need to kill me.
There's a guarantee, I think. The wound from the werewolf will transfer the curse, and poof, c'est la vie.
We had a bit of an encounter with werewolves in the abbot, and we read some of his journals. It was a bit of a longer time frame than that, I thought.
I think you'll have plenty of time, but I mean, by the next full moon, and you just said that is in 2 nights prior. I do not think we could get him somewhere in that time. I think we have to put him down.
Well, there's always a way to remove a curse. You know, we've got ways of doing that. That's fine.
Please, can we do that one? I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
I think, why don't we at the least try and just lock him up at night? You know, give that a go first.
I think that is too risky. He could be a threat to everyone.
I mean, so could we all. We all are threats to people.
But there's no guarantee that even if I've been wounded, it doesn't mean that I've got the curse, right? Like it's only if I'm susceptible to it. Is there some way to check? Like I don't know how to, but maybe if one of you knows. I mean, you look like you're learning.
Pretty sure the lore that we went in detailed lore of the werewolves, and we know that's not how that works. It was not like a scratch does it, right?
So Jonor, do you want to make me a nature or arcana check? I'd say nature or history, given that you did actually do a bit of research for.
I scholarly disagree.
Yeah. 17, Jonor. Yeah, history 17.
I'm doing him a kindness.
You remember reading back over the information that you read in that book that the abbot had when you were worried about Grinner going through a werewolf transformation. Jonor, technically any wound from a werewolf can turn someone into a werewolf, but it's not a guaranteed transformation. The person's like immune system can kind of fight it off sometimes. Imagine it's almost like an empowered disease, like a cursed microbe that's passed on through the saliva or through the claws.
Sure.
If that gets into the body, it can slowly start to multiply, and because it's magical in nature, it's able to feed on itself and eventually transform the person into a werewolf, or any were creature, any were creature at all. In this case, it is possible that he has contracted lycanthropy. I mean, the wound at his side is pretty bad. He's not looking the healthiest, which means you get the sense that his body might not be able to fight off this curse, this disease. But again, there's magic that could be used to help him to recover his vitality, or even to remove the curse itself. You know that when Grinner had his liver transplant, you were able to control that with the remove curse spell.
Tithla, can you just help him down to the ground for a second here? We can work on this. Just rest.
He's already sitting down. You want me to put him down further?
Yes, we should put him down much further.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said the wrong words. No. What's the fingers?
Have some faith, Theo. I've done this before.
The guns that our friend Luther used to have. Like that was a gun motion.
Fire hands. Killian also does that in honor of Luther, which is Killian goes, I too use the when I'm firing my magic, I use the
fire in his lever.
Yeah, I like to use the finger pistols. It's it helps with aiming because I can sort of point, and then with discharging the energy using the thumb to do so. It's a nice physical gesture.
Sorry, Owen, what was this dude's name?
Savid, from memory. Let me quickly pull it up again.
Mr. Savid, how did you get behind the hidden passage in this room, by the way?
It was open when I came through. I stepped in behind and closed it.
And you mentioned something about dead people?
There's, I saw a creature, a zombie-looking thing, roaming around out near the front gates. I ducked in behind it and then snuck in. I've heard stories about this place, though. They say that the dead haunt it. It's cursed.
So you thought it was a good place for you to hide out while you were bleeding out?
Well, it was either that or the woods, and I knew that the werewolf could track my scent, or the wolf could track my scent. I wanted to make sure that I was somewhere that they wouldn't go. I'd heard that most creatures avoid this place. I was desperate. I was fighting for my life. I made a decision. I figured that dying out in the woods was a sure thing, but in here I might have had a chance. And I was right. Look, you lot have come in here. I'm safe in here. Well, relatively with you lot, it seems.
I'm going to point my fingers subtly towards Theo, speak to him in a message.
Mm-hmm.
Do you reckon we should check what his thoughts are? It kind of checks out, but maybe, better safe than sorry.
And I'll telepathically speak back to him and only him this time. I think that should be fine. Maybe we get Tithla to sedate him momentarily and we do it while he's out.
So I think the wound is going to heal pretty well. I'm looking after you. Guys, you guys look like you got a pretty serious face on you. You guys okay?
I break and look at her. Yeah, look, this healing is going to require, it's an affection that takes over your body and your mind. Can you please just relax for a moment? And I just need to just scan if there's the infection has made its way to your mind. If you if you agree to that, I just want to have a quick check.
I can try to.
That'd be very helpful, and healing will be on its way very shortly then.
Yeah, as you say that, you watch as Killian's hand begins to glow with light as he prepares to cast Cure Wounds. I was just checking Killian's spell slots. He's got loads.
Slapping him in.
Sure.
I think Killian's going to very gently place his hands on his shoulders and cast Cure Wounds. Okay, he fucking backhand Savid with the Cure Wounds.
Jonor then starts to say some words in the theme of time, and stand in front of him and sort of depict some glowing runes and sort of scribe them out in front of him, and then just continue the rest of the spell to then cast Detect Thoughts.
Alrighty. Surface Thoughts, Jonor, straight away. Savid is scared and wary. He's acting easygoing, but he doesn't trust any of you yet. He, at this point, is grateful for the healing that he's received. He's grateful that it seems that you guys are friendly, but deep down, he doesn't trust any of you. You can hear or feel, sense from his thoughts that trust is just something that it's a luxury you can't really afford to have, especially someone who's been here a long time. And Savid has been here a long time, Jonor. You immediately get that sense. In addition, reading the surface thoughts, he is worried about Maisie. Very worried about Maisie. He's very concerned about her. He's concerned about his wound, and what Theo said about the lycanthropy, he is really shitting his pants about that. He does not want to be a werewolf. That has really concerned him. Would you like to delve deeper?
As I delve deeper, I say, who were you here with when you arrived? Who is this Maisie? And so just guiding the thoughts.
Direct his thoughts. Yeah, fantastic. Yep. Is it remember it's a wisdom save, isn't it? I need to make to bypass that.
One moment. It is wisdom sounds right, yeah.
Yeah.
Intelligence, sorry.
Intelligence save. Okay, that changes things.
Contested.
That is an 8. I'm guessing that's a fail.
That's a fail.
Alrighty. Here is what you see as you delve into his mind.
Sorry, it was wisdom. It was intelligence on the second contest.
That's okay. It's still, in that case, then it's a 9. He's only got a +1 to wisdom, so it's still a fail. Still a complete fail. As you delve into his mind, directing his thoughts towards Maisie Peters, you see in his mind an image conjured up. A woman, an elf like himself, with long blonde hair falling about her shoulders, dressed in very similar garb to him, these leather armors that are wrapped with strips of colourful cloth. And you see the Vistani, these two travelling with the Vistani. Her skin is very similar to his, this kind of dusky grey colour, and her eyes are this beautiful crystalline blue. They are very close friends, have been for some time, arrived here together. He sees himself as her protector. And they both arrived in Barovia from the same land that Killian is from. In his mind, you find references to a place called the Sword Coast, a stretch of coastal area marked with cities, towns, full of adventurers, mercenaries, monsters. Is there anything else you'd be looking for, Jonor, as you delve into his mind?
I was just trying to get an alignment check is roughly it. He seemed genuinely concerned and wants this person well and is scared of us. Yeah, I'm fine with that. No further prying.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. As you slowly...
would then remove the probing of the mind, and then turn it into what appears to be remove curse casting of that one, which would be casting a light onto his chest, and then sort of the light from the light cantrip would then burn sort of against whatever the curse inside him is, and it's like a simmering of any curse within, and it sort of burns that away is what the intent is.
Brilliant. And what level are you casting Remove Curse at? Second level?
Third level.
It is a third level spell, right? Of course. As you place your hands upon his shoulder, concentrate the magic flowing through, you meet resistance for a moment, Jonor. And then it's washed away in that divine light spilling forth from your fingers. As Killian leans over and casts Cure Wounds, as his wounds begin to knit and heal back together, the terrible gash around his chest and abdomen slowly closing over. You can see the flesh and muscles re-knit, the skin coming over, this fresh pink skin covering the area. No, be fresh white skin, sorry, because he's a dusk elf. This fresh white skin knitting over the surface. And as you send this pulse of magic through him, Jonor, you feel a curse that was upon him removed, pushed away, burned away by your holy magic.
Do I gleam at what type of curse it was?
Do you want to make me an Arcana check?
Absolutely.
See, you're sort of falling back on your knowledge of magic at this stage, I'd say, Jonor, as you sort of feel the resonance of your magic, the weave within you. 12.
12.
Hard to say, Jonor, but sometimes the simplest answer is the solution. Dude was attacked by probably a werewolf, which means probably it's lycanthropy that you've just burned out of him. I'd say at this stage, Jonor, your mind goes back to a tome by a very famous Aasimar monk known as Occam, and his tome Occam's Razor, which spoke about the simplest answer often being the correct one to any problem that you face.
Oh, I found something in there.
What'd you find? What is it?
It's all burnt away. You saw that like glistening darkness just then.
You burned away something inside of me.
The lycanthropy.
Oh, thank the gods! I thought you were talking about something else. I mean, I watched my skin reknit under my fingers, and then you talked about burning things. So I was infected. I was cursed.
Yeah, absolutely. Theo, good intuition. You've got to trust what you get on these things.
I told you it was guaranteed. I still think to be safe, we should probably put him down, but the threats might.
Sorry, what?
Well, these things come back, you know.
They do?
I think he's just pulling your leg. He's good for that.
I mean, I have to thank you, strangers. Thank you for healing me. Thank you for preventing me from turning into a monster. I'm very grateful for your help.
That's okay.
And thank you for taking care of me, little one. For binding my wounds properly. The magic that you wield, the light that came forth. I've not seen magic like that in a good long time. You're new here, aren't you? You've not been in Barovia long.
Oh no, we've been here a long time. Nearly 3 weeks now.
Aye, okay. I know I can understand in the first little bit can feel like an age, but it does feel like an age.
An age?
Yeah, being here for a fucking age feels like an age.
Like how many birthdays is that?
We stopped counting, Maisie and I. Been here for years, though. We joined up with a group of other elves, group of Vistani. And I know what you're thinking. These are a good lot. Some of the Vistani aren't to be trusted, but this lot are good. They're friendly, they're kind, they're caring, they look out for each other. It's hard to be on your own here.
Just 2 more questions about ages. What number were you at when you stopped counting, and how many years ago was that?
207, and I don't know, maybe.
How old are you?
Well, I was 207 when I first came through the mists from the Sword Coast.
And how many did you count until you stopped counting?
I counted maybe 6 or 7 years after that, but it's hard to mark the passing of the years here. You've got to understand that the seasons don't change. It's hard. You got to keep track of every day. There's no F. It's just not worth it. Things don't change enough to make it worthwhile.
You're old.
Thank you. I'm pretty young for an elf, to be honest. I'm not that old.
Okay. I think we've all learnt a lot here. We've all found out some shocking things about each other.
I've got to say, you're quite verbose for a goblin. You are a goblin, right? So some sort of goblin creature.
I don't say you're pretty rude for a dark elf.
No, verbose. You're good at talking. You using big words and quite kind.
I take back the dark elf comment. I'm sorry, that was uncalled for.
It's okay. My people often get confused with dark elves. I'm a dusk elf, we're somewhat similar.
I'm sorry, what's the difference?
Dark elves live below the ground, dusk elves live on the surface. We're nocturnal though, so I guess we favor the dark as well.
I guess that makes sense. Thank you for explaining. I now feel more understanding of your people now that I've been informed.
You don't have dusk elves where you're from. I take it you're not from the Sword Coast. I didn't notice anyone nodding along as I said that.
Yeah, did you see Killian?
I'm from the Sword Coast. From Neverwinter. Hey, from my homeland. Well, we should probably have a chat later. I'd love to know what happened after I left. What's been going on in my homeland. I've got friends and family there. Friends and family I've accepted I'll probably never see again.
Okay, well, enough of your pity party. What else have you been doing did you see in Argynvostholt?
I've not been here very long, and as I said, I was grievously injured. I've been in this room, and I mean, what the fuck happened to the rug? As he looks down at the torn up owlbear skin rug that he's just now noticed scattered around the room. I think, Theo, you've got the larger chunks of it sort of draped over your shoulder, right? Yeah.
Is it solid? It's between my antlers last time I checked.
That's right, yeah, it's like hanging from your antlers. What the fuck happened to the rug? Was that the noises I heard coming out here?
Well, I don't know what the noises you heard were.
Well, I heard lots of sort of like weird animal screaming, like this sort of like bestial grunting, and then some shouting, and then it was silent for a bit, and then I heard the chinking of glasses. That's when I opened the door.
That was the weird animal sounds. That's just Theo.
I get that. No, some sort of druid?
No, I am over there.
You're out of bear form.
Sentient. No.
Oh no, in that case then, carry on.
I've held it for longer than a short rest.
That's true.
But I am a sentient telepathic bear from the Feywilds.
Make me a deception check. That's a blatant lie. It's a blatant lie. Why do you feel the need to lie to people about who you are? It's okay. You can be. True. Yeah, fair.
You can be
24. Honest. You got a 24. You watch as Savage just nods and goes, I've heard about the Feywilds. I must say, a talking bear with antlers and hooves on his back legs. Cool. Sounds pretty fey. Not gonna lie. That's pretty badass.
I occasionally turn back into I can transform into a satyr sometimes for fun, but yes, this is who I really am.
Huh.
Are we hearing that, or are you saying that just to him?
Just to him. Well, while you're out in the woods, did you see a small cat girlish type thing? One of our friends is not turned up for our meeting here.
It's funny you mention that. I thought I heard someone calling out. Is anyone here called Theo?
Yeah, I think we established Theo is a sentient telepathic bear.
I'm going to be honest. The part of the sentence that really resonated with me on that was the sentient telepathic bear. To be perfectly honest, I kind of forgot what came before that. That really stood out to me as a piece of information that took all my attention away. But yeah, Theo, right. I heard a voice calling out your name, a woman's voice. I was sort of like a bit faint. I think I sort of passed out for a bit. But I distinctly remember hearing that calling out. It would have been a couple of hours ago.
Did they seem in trouble?
No, I don't think so. It didn't sound like they were screaming, just calling out. And then it was silence. I went to open the door and I couldn't reach the handle. I slipped in my blood and hit my head. Points inside of the alcove, and you can see a section where like a bloody handprint is on the wall near a switch, and then you can see it's like streaked down again.
Well, then perhaps Sen is already here. If you could hear her talking in this area,
maybe it's something else I heard as well. I swear I heard a carriage, like the rattling of a carriage.
Yes, she was to be following this carriage. I mean, did she sound like she might have been from the carriage? The sound?
Hard to say. It was coming through the stone. You got to remember, this place echoes. It's hard to sort of tell where sounds are coming from inside.
Well, Sen is either here or she's been taken to with the carriage. I think we all can guess where she was off to be married to. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow night if she's either where we are or where we're going.
Yeah, if she doesn't turn up now, she'll be there.
Okay, shall we get to exploring this Argynvostholt? Did you want to explore itself, as they say?
I'm feeling much better because of the healing. I mean, if you'd appreciate the help, I'm wondering if maybe it's worth splitting into groups. This place is big, but not big enough that we can't rush to each other's aid if we get into trouble. I mean, the fortress is ruined. Some of the rooms have caved in.
Yeah, well, I mean, perhaps Killian and Styx want to go explore one side, and you can come with with Tithla, Jonor, and I, and we can go someplace else? Or do you
No,
want to go
I
with
think we should probably. I think our
That sounds
group
really good.
is probably more of a like the way that our composition doesn't quite line up. Like I think for better coverage.
No, I'm going to agree with you here, Theo. I think this group dynamic going on is perfect at this moment. So,
Okay, I'll concede to being outvoted.
Did you want to come with us, or did you want to go with the Styx and Killian?
Well, I've got some questions for Killian. I'm happy to ask him now or save them for later. It's up to you lot.
I mean, you also get a vote. You're a person.
All right, I'll stick. Oh, look, in that case, then I'll stick with my friend from the Sword Coast. In that case, from Neverwinter, that'll be worth doing. And I'll make sure that if there's any questions that they ask or anything we learn, I'll make sure I share it with you lot later. Make sure we're all across
I'm sure
everything.
they'll catch us up. You know.
As an FYI, if you find some knights, we're meant to show them the light. If you could contribute, say, roughly half of the knights, that would be greatly appreciated.
Show some
After
knights the
Twitter-
light. What does that even mean? What am I supposed to do? What, like light a torch or something and show it to them?
Apparently, it's metaphorical. So, like spiritually, light, like
And
the
plural. We spent a lot of time to establish it was plural lights and plural knights.
Yes.
Right. And so
Actually, I'm not sure we established the plurality on the knights.
so
I thought
so
that was exactly what we established.
I thought it was plurality on the light.
yeah, it was plural light. Yeah, you're right. And this is also spoken from the perspective of a stone dragon. So if you can sort of triangulate those ones, just walk on it and have a think.
Mm.
So what you're telling me is you want me to do something, but you don't know what it is. You're hoping I'll sort of like figure it out as we're going along. So you're trying to figure it out as we go along.
Possibly in the background, yes, just figure it out.
Right.
Plural knights.
I gotta say, I'm actually kind of used to this. Maisie and I tend to improvise most things, so this fits quite nicely with my my wheelhouse. This fits right in the purview of what I'm used to.
Maisie would be more used to very well rehearsed and professional grade performances.
Oh yeah, she is, but I'm not. I'm generally there for when the plans go wrong, which they do.
Your friend Maisie, did you see her get taken by the wolves? Does she need help, or did she escape? And
Got no idea. No idea. I was hoping. I mean, I called out to her. I said, like, quick, follow me, and then I ran. I heard her behind me for some of the journey, but I'll be honest, I was bleeding out. I sort of
How long have you two been traveling together?
years before we came to Barovia. We've been
think-
friends for a long time.
I think maybe we should go and try and find her. I think we can leave this old has been here for, I don't know, at least 2 years. I think it could wait one more night. Why don't we go and see if we can find your friend Maisie? That seems important.
Which is Styx nods and goes, I don't like the sound of someone being outside alone. Why don't we go?
Okay, well, yeah, I usually
Yes.
go look at that. We'll handle the halt.
We should all go, yes.
I think if we're going to see for dinner, we kind of need to get this place sorted out now. If we get the part of Styx and the item Sam was looking for, we might stand a chance tomorrow night at dinner.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm just worried about putting up.
Turning to a werewolf. In the meantime, what a dilemma this is.
Well, yeah, we probably don't need help searching the Argynvostholt. If Styx, Killian, and Severard want to go to
If Sen got away, I mean, I called out to her to run for the ruins. This would be the first place. Like, my plan was, as soon as I was well enough, healed enough to look, I was going to search here first, because this is where she would have run. If she got away, this is where she'd be.
Well, yeah, have a look. Sounds like a good plan. Meet back here if you're done. Call out and say, no, there is trouble. If there is trouble.
Yeah, I think we can do that. I think just shout out. This, as I said, this place isn't as big as you think. I mean, it looks grand and impressive, but from what I've seen so far inside here and back in the main hallway, it looks like there's maybe, 10, 12 rooms up here on the ground floor. Maybe more upstairs, but if we stick to the ground floor for the moment, we can all get to each other pretty quickly if we get into any trouble.
Good. All right, well, if you go to the south, we'll go to the east.
Sounds good. Yeah, we can check out the south area and report back in.
All right, then.
Either way, Theo.
Theo's heading on through the secret door. Secret tunnel.
I will look for friends, says Styx. I hate having to do that voice.
Right.
Raph's not here, and I'm doing my best. As I said, I did practice. I hope it's sounding better than it did before. as Styx, Killian, and Savid go and explore towards the south where the spiders last were, let us jump over with Theo, Jonor, Tithla, and Dracob. Yes, chat, it is hard to hold Styx's voice for more than a few words. You have to really carefully control how much air is coming in. And massive welcome to Oren. Hey, mate. Welcome. Oren's a friend of Josh's, who has a podcast / stream where he interviews lovely people. I think he did an interview of Josh fairly recently. So welcome. Lovely to have you here. Alrighty. I'll bring us back across the map as you guys kind of do a little bit of an explore around it. As you head into the storeroom, let me describe what you see in detail. Inside this quite narrow, very cramped storeroom, you can see 5 large barrels. And I think what I'll do really quickly is I'll just take the dynamic lighting off. We don't really need it for that room, do we? Get you the full appreciation of the barrels. Probably these barrels once contained fine wines, fine liqueurs, maybe other liquids. Unlikely to be water, judging by the contents of that weird sarcophagus cum drinks cabinet that you found in the previous room. But as you have a bit of a look around inside, you can see that one of the barrels, as you knock against it, have a bit of an investigation. One of the barrels still has some liquid in it. As you look inside, you can see the residue of a dark brownish purple liquid. Could I have investigation or perception checks from all 3 of you, please?
You sure can.
I suppose so.
Will this involve my bear smell?
Technically it would, so you may have advantage.
I mean,
14.
With your keen senses. Tithla, you notice a logo, 20 for Theo already. 17, we'll take the 20. And Jonor, 25. Oh. Tithla, as you look at the barrels...
I don't see shit compared to everyone else, apparently.
You do see some stuff. It's all comparative. As you look around the barrels, Tithla, you notice on the barrel closest to you, the one up towards the north, a very familiar logo. A logo you saw only a night ago. Actually, I would even say early this morning. The Wizard of Wine's Vineyard. You can see
There's a lot of
W's
W's on this one.
Yeah, you can see a large stamp, and underneath, written in this flowing text, is Champagne de l'Estompe, written underneath.
Champagne the stamp.
Perfect, nailed it. Jonor and Theo, 3 of these barrels used to contain whiskey. You can see, or another similar strong spirit whiskey, or a bourbon, or a scotch. The barrels at the bottom, you can actually see where the taps have actually corroded away, and the liquid has spilled out and soaked through the flagstones and evaporated, leaving behind this sort of powdery residue inside the barrels, this granular residue. The barrel that Tithla is currently examining definitely once contained some sort of whitish wine. The barrel next to it, the one that still has some liquid in it, probably some sort of red wine. Judging by the smell, which is now quite a strong vinegar flavor, quite possibly some sort of port or other fortified wine.
I give it a lick.
Give it a lick. Okay.
Give it a lick.
As you lick the soured, aged wine, Theo, it's a strong vinegar flavor. The alcohol, contrary to what you might be expecting, hasn't intensified. It has slightly evaporated over the years, leaving you with this rather sour vinegar as you just sort of lap it up a little bit. It's foul, Theo. It's so gross. As you get this coating on your tongue, it almost has this oily residue. The tannin flavor has intensified, leaving this almost oily, smooth coating on the inside of your mouth that keeps this aftertaste almost locked in place. Your taste buds unable to wash it away with the amylase in your saliva.
Good, loved it.
Yeah. In addition, the 2 of you also do see 2 doors, one leading towards the south and one leading towards the east. Jonor with a 25. Hear a faint squeaking coming from the room towards the east. Just the occasion, almost like a little chittering squeak for a second, then silence. Not like the spiders, which was this sort of chitinous, much more reverberatory chitter. This one seems almost like some sort of echolocation chitter, something like a bat might make.
We might have some of our some allies or friends. No, definitely no. We've got some little critters in this other room to the east here. I think it's like bats or something. Are we gonna try and have a look in there, or just blast them?
Just head on through, I think.
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Could be something, valuable in there.
Would you, if you would like to have a look, we can have a look.
Is there a keyhole?
There is indeed a keyhole, Jonor. As you peek on through, you can see the room beyond is in a very poor state. Very similar to the room you just came from, that sort of sitting room. You can see a fireplace on the other side of the keyhole, broken furniture in the room, but the windows on this side have been smashed in, letting the elements in. Water, rain, and wind has eroded away all of the wood in this room, leaving behind this pulpy, rotted mess. The fireplace has partially collapsed. No perfectly preserved stone and glass logs glowing with that inner fire. Just this shattered, broken fireplace. In addition, as you stare through into this area, you can also see what looks like a bunch of rusted metal strewn across the floor. Not really sure what that is. It looks like a mixture of tools or utensils, but in a terrible state of decay.
We mentioned the light the night. The fireplace is sort of a place of light. There's another one in there that's not going. That's sort of collapsed. I think maybe we could try to light these fireplaces, perhaps.
That's a good idea. All right, shall we go through?
Yeah, how do you want to handle these bats? Just crack it open a little bit. I can cast throw a bit of rock in there with light on it, see what the bats do.
Sure. That Theo will bear paw open the door.
As you push open the door and move into the room, Jonor, you shine a bit of light in through on a rock. You cast light on a rock and
I'm gonna flash bang it. Just throw the rock in.
The second the rock glowing with light flies into the room and scatters across the floor, you hear a chittering screech, and you watch as a single bat flies around the room in a panic before flying out one of the open smashed windows.
My bad.
I could have just gone in and shoot the bat away.
You should. Theo heads through the door.
As you make your way into the room, Theo, clearly this was some sort of kitchen once upon a time. The bench over in the far west wall, the one that you just came from on the other side, not visible through the keyhole to Jonor's eyes, but now visible that you're in the room, you can see has been tipped over, spilling what looks like crockery. An old rusted fry pan has scattered around, sort of skittered across the floor, is broken partly in half from the rust. Utensils scattered across the floor as well. The windows that are smashed and broken open, as you look through, you can see what looks like a cemetery on the other side of the windows. Gravestones dotting the grassy knoll just on the outside of these windows. In the fireplace that's partially collapsed, you can see what looks like a very old iron pot hanging from what was once a spit hanging above. You can see that it is occasionally moving a little bit and rattling around. As you step into the room, you watch as another bat flies out of the pot screeching, flaps into Tithla's hair going, and then takes off out the window.
Like
Tithla,
No, not doing it again. That was a one-time thing.
Respond still. Can Tithla do an animal handling check to try and get the bat to calm down a little?
For sure.
All right, here we go.
All right.
That's a 12.
It's a 12. How do you calm the bat down? What do you do? Take me through it. And we're gonna go full screen for this.
As she puts her hand up to it. She tries to talk to it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you make some noises. You watch as the bat flitters around, the light of Jonor's cantrip lighting up the stone, causing it some panic. These massive predatory shapes in the room around it. You watch as it takes off out the window, not really wanting anything to do with you. It doesn't bite you though, Tithla, and doesn't poop on you.
That's all you can ever ask.
What you just said was incredibly offensive in bat language.
No, see, that's from the Feywild bats. This is different bats. So these are my bats, and what I said was nice, and what you thought was mean.
I don't remember. I lived in Australia with you for many
Shut
years.
up! You don't know. You just being mean. You're a bear. You're a fake bear. You don't even know. Your ears don't work good.
You hear from outside the room, what do you mean he's a fake bear?
Well, you saw the hooves.
Jonor, do you want to relight the fire in here? See what happens?
I give it a firebolt to start with. Just very gently landed on the base of the fireplace.
As you summon the flame into your hand and push it through into the fireplace, you watch as the flame burns for a moment and then sputters out, leaving behind a soot mark. Yeah.
To cause the flames to flicker brighter and
yeah, you generous. You unleash the firebolt. You watch as Tithla does some magic as well. You can see her moving her hands around, muttering under her breath, and then yeah.
Oh wow, it's working. Good gaslighting there, Jacob.
I don't get it. Can you explain it?
It was the gas.
Oh, the gas. I get it. Tithla casts Sacred Flame. Try and light the fire.
As you summon this brilliant holy energy and unleash it in the fireplace, you watch as it burns bright for a moment. The iron pot hanging on the spit burns away under the intensity of this radiant energy, and then as the light fades, it's just the fragments of this pot slowly fall and clatter to the ground.
I don't think this is working very well.
Maybe rather than a pan, we need some of those like glass metal pieces the other one was summoned from. And Jonor starts kicking around some of the items in the ground to find those materials.
Yeah, as you kick around looking through, I'm happy to use your investigation check from before, Jonor. There's really nothing much of value here. This is all rusted and broken cooking utensils. Whatever you're supposed to do here with the light and with the nights,
Wait,
it's not obvious.
I think I understand. Turn off your light. We're looking for the night. It needs to be dark. Turn the light off.
Oh, my apologies.
You're looking for the sword and shield knights, remember?
Are they different? It's a night. Not
One
a
is
thing.
no, not then like a knight of the round table kind of thing, a court knight. Man in armor with swords.
I just thought because we needed to give them the light, then if it started in darkness, then...
Remember, it's a metaphor. The light is a metaphor for showing them...
Can I be honest?
No?
Yeah, I think you always are.
Thank you, Jonor. I don't really know what a metaphor is. We keep saying it. I don't know.
Well, a metaphor. Let me sit down for a moment. Metaphor is when you want to describe something, and you compare it to another comparable, and Jonor just starts stumbling all over.
Well, I feel like that's an analogy, isn't it?
Or perhaps even a simile.
Oh well, so you are versed. I think you might be you're letting on a little bit more than I think you're not letting on what you know, Tithla.
Oh, I think I've definitely oversold it.
No, a metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or a phrase is applied to an object or action where it is not literally applicable.
Oh,
that's what I said. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
You introduce the concept of the comparison, which takes it from being a metaphor and into something like a simile or an analogy. So it's different figures of speech.
You're a different kind of book smart, and that's okay.
But regardless,
thank you very much. I'm glad my teachings are well received.
Yep. Thank you for teaching.
It seems as though the lighting of the fireplace did not do anything. So shall we head up to the north here?
Let's do it.
What's this squiggly line on the ground?
Yeah, as you... Do you want to go first, Tithla, then I'll explain what the squiggly line
is? was going to walk over to the fireplace and just start talking to it in Draconic.
What do you say in Draconic to the fireplace? Seems like an interesting one.
Something offensive like it to the bat.
Hello, are you there this time? We're trying to find the night for the light. Night for the light down the shore. You will be my girl. And that's, yeah. Are you there? Hello?
Tithla, as you speak in Draconic to the fireplace, in your mind you're expecting to hear back, "The light is bright under your influence." But instead you hear nothing. You see nothing, no change, no difference. It's really disappointing.
Tithla turns to Jacob.
Did I say it right? Or did I stuff it up again? Was my accent a bit wrong?
Which is Jacob sort of cocks his head looking at you, your draconic companion.
Pal?
Cocks his head. Yeah, pal. Cocks his head. Your draconic mate. We've got to keep it Aussie appropriate, right? Your draconic mate cocks his head as a look and goes like, yeah.
We'd throw some other terms out there if it was
right.
Aussie.
Yeah. We don't need to say them. As your Dracunt says to you, "Yeah, mate, that's spot on." As Jacob sort of nods and looks, I mean, cocks his head curiously. Not sure. You don't think you said anything wrong. You don't think you said anything brutally insulting. If anything, you thought you were pretty spot on. The squiggly line that you referenced, Theo, is in fact the remains of a very, very heavy brown curtain. It is so tattered and worn that you can see through it. It's moth-eaten and broken. As you look through into the room beyond, you can see one of the towers, the bottom floor of one of the towers, filled with pallets and beds. Straw wrapped up in fabric, probably linen, but again, so aged and so broken that the straw has partially been pulled out from them. Probably rats and mice have made their way in and moved into this room, leaving behind just a decrepit and wrecked bedroom. Probably the servants' quarters.
I would like to dive through the curtain, Kool-Aid Man style.
As you dive through the curtain, Kool-Aid Man style, some of the strips of fabric get caught up in your horns, and you tear the entire curtain rod off behind you as it clatters down to the ground with this enormous, very echoing, rattling sound. For a moment, all you can hear is clang, clang, clang.
Oh
followed
no!
by silence.
Full of a took.
Full of a took.
Anything in here now that I've dived in?
Full of a took. Next time, throw yourself in. And free us rid of your stupidity. Yes. As you look inside, there's just broken beds. But there's a doorway right behind you. You can see a doorway heading towards the west.
Over here?
Yeah, right next to where you're standing.
All right. I open the door.
As you open the door, you see a hallway with stairs leading down to what looks like a side entrance. You can see a large wooden door, partly broken open, revealing maybe a pathway out of this place, another entrance.
I reveal that to Jonor and Tithla. Do things is worth exploring. We're not trying to really leave, so...
We'll come back here, possibly.
The far end of the hallway, Theo, as you go back the far end of the hallway, on the other side of that big open door, you can see another doorway. Right at the very far end of the corridor.
There is another doorway into the corridor. You want to go through here, or maybe to the south from the kitchen, or...
Let's go to the mystery door down there. That's intriguing.
Through there.
As you make your way down through this main entrance, I'll read it out to you just so you get a bit of an understanding. The wooden door that's here is broken off the hinges, but in place, an iron gate on the other side of it, probably one that would be dropped down to protect from invaders or attackers, is still in place. You can see this iron gate is still there, locking off access to the northern part of the fields beyond. You can see a massive crank on the wall next to you, but also what looks like part of a locking mechanism attached to that crank. And as if one of you has a bit of a tug on the crank, it doesn't turn. It looks like it is currently locked off and unable to be used.
Can we unlock it?
Yeah, I mean, as you pull out your massive bear claws and look down at them and look at the lock, you get the sense probably you're not well equipped for this particular task.
General, there's a locking mechanism here. Perhaps you'd like to unlock it so we could leave here by this exit if we need to?
Yeah, let's pass that here. Okay, if I get this little angle here and I go to unlock it.
Jonor, do you have any thieves' tools?
No.
Would you like to unlock it? Let me rephrase. How would you like to unlock this door? How would you like to unlock this mechanism, Jonor?
I get this mechanism in position. Hey, Tithla, you'll be useful
He's
here.
going to
please.
delegate. He's going to delegate, is what I'm hearing.
I'm always useful, thank you.
Yeah, just as exact circumstances. Here's one.
Yeah, okay, go on. What would you like me to be useful for this time?
Can you unlock this lock, please?
Of course.
And she puts out her hand, palm up towards Jonor.
I put the thieves' tools in her hand.
Oh, I was expecting a key, but okay, I can give it a go with this.
You're not proficient with
Is that
thieves'
what-
tools, are you, Tithla?
Why would she be?
I know. I'm just, it's a valid point.
Because you're a goblin. And he's
Oh,
racist.
dirty pig. Understood.
Yeah, he's completely racist.
I'm not racist.
I'm
Some of the
proficient with a
NPCs
hand
from
drum.
the Forgotten Realms, when they see a goblin, expect a certain type of creature. Obviously, we've established in the lore of Nostea that that's bullshit, but NPCs from other modules, the ones officially designated by Wizards of the Coast,
Sure.
are really, what I'm hearing is Hasbro are racist, and that's
Oh,
the only
and-
takeaway I can make from that.
I think that's reasonable, but also you're the one that said it.
Yeah.
I have to stick with the established lore. You know the fact checkers. If I make a mistake, trust me, make a mistake in Avatar, I hear about it very
You know what?
quickly.
Chat, teach him a leopard. Teach him
A
a
leopard.
lesson.
Teach
Go
him a
and check
leopard.
out- Teach him a leopard. Go and watch the Maisie Peters clip again. 100 views. I wasn't going to bring it up. We're over 100 views.
He was
going
gonna
to
bring it
give
up.
a go with the.
Yes. Would you like to make me a
Good
sleight of
talk.
hand check, please, Jacob?
I would love to. Do I have
As
any
is being
disadvantage
so
or
responsible enjoying a
advantage?
cup of tea tonight, while the rest of us alcoholics are just smashing various drinks.
I had a big weekend and my liver does not need a little alcoholic snack.
An alcoholic snack. Snack is a great way to put it. I was mostly joking. There was one comment on YouTube that was a bit rough one time from someone. It wasn't from one of the people who comes and joins us live. That was a bit like, actually. I was like, okay. But I was mostly joking. Tithla, 11 for your sleight of hand.
I assume I get advantage.
Why would you?
You know, it doesn't hurt to ask.
In this case, it does. As you are handed these tiny metal things, you know what they're for. You just sort of like
I
put
got
them
an
in
11.
and rattle them around a bit. Yeah, you just sort of put them in and rattle them around. It's not really working. You sort of,
This key doesn't work very well.
yeah, it's a weird key, Tithla.
Okay, here you go.
And Tithla like takes it out and just hands it back. It's not. She hasn't put any of it back in. She just like hands the pile of stuff back.
Oh, back in order. What's the slot? Is the little. This goes
Did you
there.
call her?
Yeah. This
Slot.
goes in the
There's
slot.
I know. I thought I could deflect onto Tom.
Nice and orderly. That'd be the way to go. Thanks, Theo. No luck on this one. We'll have to keep on going.
Okay. Through bounds up the stairs because I'm pretty sure I'm still reasonably drunk in this bear form. So just giddy little gallop up the stairs, and yeah, straight through the next door.
Sounds like the intro to a children's story. A giddy little gallop up the stairs and through the door. The room beyond was filled with blood. As you move into the room beyond,
I'm sorry. What is happening?
you don't need to worry about that.
I'm confused.
As
going through the room.
As you move into the room beyond, I will describe what you see. Tattered velvet drapes cover the slender windows that encircle this particular room. Probably some sort of sitting room or parlor, a much more opulent room than the one that you came in with the fireplace. The furnishings here are in a much better condition for the most part. In the very center of the room, there is a table that has broken and fallen down, but most of the other stools and chairs are actually in a bit of better nick. Dust and cobwebs fill the room, giving it a sense that it hasn't been disturbed in some time. As you look up towards the floor above, you can see hanging from the ceiling a large brass chandelier, slowly rocking in the breeze of the door being opened, as the wind sort of pushes through from outside. And as you look up at this brass chandelier, you can see that it is carved in the shape, or has been molded into the shape of these two spiraling dragons flying around with candles adorning where spines would be along their back.
Maybe light the chandelier?
Yeah, these, dragon knights, light them.
Light them up.
Well, is it within reach? Physical reach for me to cast?
It's probably about 9-10 feet up off the ground, so not quite within physical reach.
Theo, can you just put your your hooves here for a second? I'm just gonna climb on your back to sort of reach you up. Is that okay?
Can you not just cast Firebolt with a zoom zoom from a distance?
Don't really want to, ablaze it. Just set it just to a nice light, not burnt.
Okay. Yeah, I pop down my back paws, put my little bare paws up, and boost you up.
Jonor. As I'm going to say, Theo, you're strong enough to lift up book nerd Jonor. As you lift up Jonor, lift him up high. Jonor, as you get up to the chandelier, you can see that, the candles that are in place here are still fairly intact. The wax hasn't been melted beyond maybe like a few days worth of candle use. The wicks are still intact as well, covered in cobwebs and dust. But otherwise, the 9 candles arranged around this chandelier probably would be pretty easy to light. Even just with a tinderbox, you can just pull out your tinderbox and light one up. And the candles are removable. If you get one candle lit, you can then use one candle to light the others. It's very, very, very simple.
You shake my hand like a fist and flick my thumb out to form like a zippo, and then just go around lighting them all up.
Perfect.
Casting Firebolt.
Casting Firebolt. Yeah, Firebolt's probably not the spell. I'm just thinking through.
I get halfway there. Get the flame, and then just smudge it around.
Yeah, can you read out what it says? I just want to hear really quickly. Just remind me. What does it say for the first line of Firebolt? What does it say? Does it say you hurl?
Yeah, it says you hurl. Yeah, emergent fire at an object. Okay, tinderbox it is.
You don't make a check. You can light a tinderbox. As you light one of the candles, then use that candle to light the other ones. Warm, soft light fills this room, flickering firelight. And some of the darkness and decay of this place is chased away. As you look around, you can see that the walls are actually covered in a mural, one that wasn't visible in the gloomy dusk. Painted. You can see clouds wrapped around the upper surface of the wall and actually moving onto the roof itself. Shapes fly through them. Birds and dragons. Silver, brass, copper, gold, all fly, ducking and weaving in and out of the clouds that surround this room. It's beautiful, but kind of sad, lost and hidden beneath a patina of grime and dust, left to languish in this forgotten place.
No nights.
No
Nothing
nights.
happens?
Nothing happens that you see.
Can I make an Arcana check? I'm trying to observe or feel any sort of connection from this object to the whole building.
Absolutely, Jonor.
All right, that is going to be...
All right. 26, Jonor.
It is a good night.
Fucking hell. As you cast your eyes around the building, around the mural at the chandelier, the brass chandelier, no magic shines out at you like a beacon. No sense of any arcane energy suffusing the chandelier. But as you look at the mural, it's completely undamaged. Yes, it's dirty. Yes, it's covered in cobwebs and dust. But if this was just paint, it should have flecked or aged. There should be broken sections, but there aren't. And as you examine the painting a bit more closely, Jonor, you feel a very slight almost gentle tingle in your fingers as you bring your hands close to it. You can feel the weave melded into the paint, protecting this. This mural seems enchanted. The magic that's surrounding it, it's hard to know exactly what school just by examining it, but it does feel like it's some sort of enchantment that protects this paint, protects this mural, and maybe provides another benefit as well. But there does seem to be more on this mural, more that you haven't yet examined closely or looked at.
Yeah, let's have a look at these. If these murals are I share with the rest what I've observed, so they're on board. Let's have a look at these murals and see if we can deduce anything else from it.
Okay, I mean, this is your area of expertise. It's clearly not a natural form of magic, but yeah. If you need a boost, I can lift you up so you can see it better.
It stretches from the ceiling down to the ground. In fact, from your position on the ground, Tithla, you can see some of the details along the walls now with that glow from the chandelier. I would also add, Jonor, as well, with the flickering candlelight, it is almost as if the painting has become visible. With your Arcana of 26, if there was magic, it's not necessarily in the chandelier, but the firelight from these candles has activated some magic in the paint and the mural itself. It has made it visible in a way that it wasn't before. And as time is going on, you can see that grime covering it is slowly burning away, the cobwebs beginning to crumble and fall off, revealing it in all its beauty.
I got a little prestidigitation, a bit of golden light wipes it across the front of me with my hand, and does it reveal any further cleaning? What's revealed behind it?
Perfect. Tithla, Thea, and Jonor, can I please have a perception or investigation check from each of you? Your choice.
I would love to.
You'll each get different things depending on what you roll.
We call that a nat 20, baby.
Natural
25.
Fucking 20 for Tithla, which is 25. We've got a 20 unnatural for Theo. And for Jonor, is that an 11?
Yeah, that's right.
I'd say Jonor at this time, you're kind of focused more on the magic and the weave, and your attention is elsewhere. As Tithla and Theo begin examining the mural, this is what both of you get, and then Tithla, I'll give you your extra bit for the natural 20. It's not just dragons moving through the clouds. That's the section up around the top. But as the mural begins to almost fill with color, you begin to see shapes made out amongst the lower portions of the wall as well, including a very familiar looking castle, not fully built, but in the process of being constructed on a hill overlooking a small town. The sun shines bright in the sky. You can see blue skies, uncovered. Not this suffused cloud that seems to block all the light in Barovia. No, this is from a long time ago. And you can see two figures standing atop what looks like a wooden platform, directing an army of workers as they construct this castle. It looks a lot like Castle Ravenloft. While it was being built, the town below Barovia is much larger, much more bounteous. As you begin to look around the mural, you can see another building, one on a hillside surrounded by forest, a tower, a fortress surrounded by strong walls, draconic statues standing guard, standing watch over this stone edifice. And flying high above, a silver dragon. Enormous, its shadow cast upon the hillside behind, easily as large as the fortress itself. As you follow the mural around, the silver dragon is gone. Instead, you see a knight, clad in shining silver armor, a helmet with draconic wings splaying out behind it, leading a group of soldiers, clad in similar, almost scale-like armor, leading them back to this fortress. As you follow the mural around, you see the fortress under siege. An army of figures, led by those two shadowy figures on the wooden structure, coming from Castle Ravenloft, pouring into the valley. But the knights and their leader hold them at bay, pushing them back, standing their ground against these invaders. Tithla, with a natural 20.
Mm-hmm.
The silver dragon. On its chest, one of the scales is missing. This seems a deliberate choice to identify this dragon. A darker mark, a patch of scale that has been either broken or not healed properly. The Silver Knight, the commander who leads his army of dragon scale warriors, his breastplate. There's a darker section right in the very center. The dragon and the knight, Tithla, to your eyes, the artist was clearly trying to say they're one and the same.
Nice.
That's what you get.
Okay. Well, I think we have found some knights. And we have shown them the light. But I feel like perhaps this was not all we had to do. Nothing else is happening now that we've turned on the lights, is it? Just the...
No, nothing else seems to be happening that you can see or hear.
Wait, let me listen better. No,
Tithla.
I can't hear anything.
Tithla, as you focus, nothing else seems to be happening. You can hear the sounds of people talking down towards the south. Probably, I mean, it sounds like Styx. You can hear, okay, echoing through the chamber with your natural 20. But doesn't seem like anything else too interesting's happening right now.
And there was no mural in the other tower we just came from, was there?
No mural at all. Yeah, definitely no mural.
Okay.
Was there anything identifiable on that leading silver dragon?
Apart from the discolored scale that Tithla pointed out?
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing that stands out more than that. It's an artist's
Yeah,
depiction of this silver dragon, and they've clearly made a decision to leave this discolored chest
Did you
scale.
see how the shape of the chest bit is like a heart?
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's like similar on his chest. See? See, he's got like the heart spot missing. It's like the scale heart.
We'll look for some missing scales or heart, metaphors going around. That sounds good.
And analogies.
Similes, all the above.
What? I got nothing. I was trying to come up with more big words, and I Tithla can't think of anything. It's not Jacob who can't.
Okay, so there's another door heading to the south, isn't there?
Yeah, and as you peer through, you can see it leads back into that initial room where you encountered the draconic spirit of flame.
Ah, okay. Well, shall we head back this way's entrance as Theo bounds down the corridor?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Follow.
As you make your way back
Follow
into the
where
kitchen,
bear
the only door left to explore is the one heading towards the south, which you haven't really had a bit of a closer look at yet, leading into what looks like a larger room beyond. As you push your way into this room beyond, you can see an enormous dining hall. A 20-foot-long table with sculpted dragons for legs stands in the center of the hall. The chairs that surround the table, you can see the backs are carved to resemble these folded dragon wings. But again, like most of this place, it's fallen into disrepair. Some of the chairs have been broken and smashed. The more time you spend here, the more you're beginning to feel like this was not just time. This place was ransacked. It is very obvious here. Suspended above the table clearly was a gorgeous crystal chandelier, but it's been broken. It hasn't fallen, but it looks like large sections of it have been struck, shattering the glass above, causing it to rain down upon the table below. It still glows though. with a soft white light. And as you look at it closely, you can see underneath the glass that same bronze dragon core. And that white glowing light, you can see a flickering firelight emerging from within too now. Caught that sneeze just in time. You're welcome, headphone users. I do dad sneezes. Yeah, exactly. You're welcome. I do dad sneezes now. That would have fucked everyone up. I know when I heard myself back one time after doing a sneeze, I was in genuine pain. So I'm going to do my best to always try and catch them really quickly. So if I don't, I'm so sorry.
Have you tried, if you can't stop it, going further into the mic and just putting the mic halfway down your throat for it?
It's a pretty big mic. I don't know if my jaw can sort of. I know you can.
Well, I'm sorry, Owen. I know we've talked about metaphors a lot, so it's easy to miss that was a metaphor there.
I know. I'm just trying to turn it back on you, quite obviously as well.
You got me.
You can also see inside the room 2 enormous statues, life-size statues, I would add, depicting knights, the same knights you saw in the mirror.
I think perhaps they were going for quite a draconic aesthetic for this place, but maybe if you cast some more light up into the chandelier, shine the light on these stone knights, something will happen.
Yeah, let's do it. Are all the candles lit on this one? Or
No.
Which is the past tense of lit. By the way.
That's
You're looking
true.
For load.
Yeah, that is a dialect fact that you've learned here.
All the candles are loads.
There's been a lot of language jokes this episode. I like it.
Very, very cerebral stream.
You're
I'm
welcome.
fighting the urge to shout out the biggest joke is all of you. But we'll move on. As you look up at it, sorry.
As you look up at it's very funny.
I did. As you look up at the chandelier, Jonor, you can see that. Yeah, I mean, crystal chandelier.
Oh, you asked us to be here.
That's true. I begged you. As you look up at the chandeliers, Jonor, you can indeed see candles around, positioned so that when they are lit, the light reflects off this glass and creates this gorgeous. I mean, you can picture it in your mind, Jonor. You've been in some fancy ballrooms. At the Unseen University, for example, in Oxenfurt, the large ballroom for events and functions has very similar chandeliers. But instead of using candles, they use these magic globes that light up with this brilliant light. It can change color depending on need. And some of the student parties, they have them sort of cycling between different colors, creating these really cool effects and patterns on the walls as the crystals reflect the light. This looks very similar and very, very similar to the chandelier in the other room. In fact, as you look up, Jonor, you can see that the crystal is glowing with its own light. If you were to light the candles, you suspect that effect would be multiplied. But there's definitely something magical about this chandelier, 100%. It's glowing softly.
I'll see if you're back this time, Theo. I'll just clamber onto this table and reach up there, go to light the candles.
Perfect. As you climb up onto the table, again, using your tinderbox to light the candles. As soon as you light the first candle, you watch as the flame leaps from candle to candle, lighting it up. As it does so, the room immediately fills with this beautiful orange light flickering all around as the crystals that are hanging from the chandelier begin reflecting and refracting the light. You immediately notice a large puddle of water dripping down towards the western wall from where you are, reflected in the glow and the soft light coming from the candle. You can also see doors towards the east, partially ajar. And as the light begins to flicker through, you hear a voice echo through the chambers. Who's there? Who walks these walls?
I can't really spawn them. I can't really see them. So
Tithla walks these walls.
No voice calls back.
nothing else happened.
No response.
Rude.
You gonna come out and say hi to us because we're, not too dangerous?
Or at all. Unless you want us to be dangerous, then we're very dangerous.
No response.
Hello? It's not nice to then ignore people, especially if you started a conversation.
Flashbanging again.
Oh, well, did these statues do anything? Did the light do anything besides summon a spooky voice?
Statues don't seem to change at all. The voice seems to be the only effect.
Yeah, just throw the flashbang through and let's get going.
Yeah, throw it in there.
As you throw the
Random.
light, you pick up a piece of rubble, cast light on it, chuck it through the gap in the open doors. As you throw it down through the open doorways, you watch as the rock scatters across the floor, bouncing 2, 3, 4 times before coming to a stop at the feet of this armored figure. You can see 2 more hidden in the shadows, kneeling before an altar. The one that's standing slowly looks down at the light and looks back towards the doorway. Invaders! Invaders at the gates! To arms! To arms! And the figure begins shuffling towards you. And that is where we're going to wrap up for tonight.
Oh.
Mate, there's
What
2
if
people
we
not
don't?
here who we would like to have here for the next session.
I'm happy. I'm good. I got this.
Shall we go back over to them and we'll roleplay what all those 3 did?
No, here's what happens. Here's what happens. You watch as they walk through the door at the bottom and go, yeah, there's just spiders through there. They had a bit of a look outside.
Wow.
They had a bit of a look outside, had some chats about the Sword Coast.
Did you find Maisie?
Who's Maisie?
That hurts.
Is the person you're looking for? Most famous person in Baroque?
I think we killed her. Sorry.
Does
I thought we were.
Several say anything about that?
Yeah, I'm bored of her now. Sick of her. No, I just obviously none of this happens. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We will wrap up there. It is going to be a slightly shorter session tonight because we are down 2 players. Just thought I'd really mess with Jacob at the end there. We will be back for more Curse of Strahd.
111 views.
We've moved on from
So
sad.
much
I'd upgrade this to
self-worth
tragic now.
Yeah, like so much of your self-worth seems tied to this clip.
Yeah. Can I make a recommendation?
Well, if it's doing
Jacob?
well, I'm doing well.
Can I make a recommendation? Self-worth comes from within. If you're seeking it from external sources, eventually, no matter what you do, you're always going to be disappointed.
Oh, and this was a part of me that I've put out there for the world. So it is from within.
But now, okay. So thank you so much.
Fucking
everybody.
boom!
No, it's just there's a point where, like, if you argue with someone who's clearly insane, you're the insane one. So I'm just going to let you hang. Please enjoy the rope that you have laid
Or
out for
you the
yourself.
insane one.
Probably. I am still engaging with this. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It has been wonderful once again, sharing our time with you, playing a bit of D&D, and getting to enjoy the Curse of Strahd module. We will be back on Wednesday for our Return of the Giants campaign and on Thursday for our Avatar Legends campaign. But from all of us here tonight, that is all we have for now. Stay safe, stay well. If you are watching us on YouTube or listening on the podcast, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment. If you want to ensure that bank of natural 20s is refilled, the players did use a few tonight, including on some things like perception checks.
Critically important roles we used them on.
Critically important roles they were used up on. So it's very important to make sure that we start hitting those buttons to help refill that bank of natural 20s. If you're watching us on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid one of our lovely friends of the stream. And tonight, that is going to be... Let's have a quick look. I foolishly did not get this up while I was talking before. I was using that time to help buffer and give myself some spare time, but I didn't actually use it in the end. It looks like our friends, the Eldritch Scribe, are playing some D&D, so let's go and jump in with them. It does, however, look like a rerun, so maybe we should go and do someone else who's currently live. Let's go and jump in with... Oh, man. Oh, damn it. It's also a replay. I was going to go... There's a group called Boop to Snoot, which seems like an appropriate one, but they're also doing a replay. We've got Paranoia Chi doing Murder Most Foul. that sounds kind of fun. They've put the hashtag Scottish, so I imagine we're going to hear some fucking sick accents when we jump across to that. So let's go jump across to there. Oh, lore rights. The lore rights are up. Now we gotta go read the lore rights. Sorry guys, we're gonna go read the lore rights. Now, changing my mind, cutting all that. We're gonna go read the lore rights.
accent?
What about it? Let's go read the lore rights. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you all again next time. Stay safe, stay well, and until next time, farewell. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.